So this talk about let everybody vote. The NDC, we have tried it once. You know.
Yeah.
The fallout of that we didn't like because we had candidates who were elected virtually by the MPP for us. They paid people to become members of our party.
People registered.
Got membership cards. And so we lost a number of seats. I mean, most of the one-time MPs, one-term MPs, or they happened in the elections where we decided to do everybody go vote kind of business. So it is not entirely ideal. I mean, even our own democracy is not structured around everybody participating. That's why we have a system of representation. You know, we can make all the argument that it's democracy, but how many people are in parliament?
Participatory democracy.
Otherwise, let all of us go and sit in parliament. So yes, we are participating from the sidelines. Our voice must be heard and all that, but you still need somebody to represent you in those at those levels. What I am not excited about is this sudden business about NDC went to the polls and NDC bribed and all that. The last elections, 210 people were expected to vote. We heard people were giving 700 Ghana cedis. You have a calculator here. 700 Ghana cedis, 1,000 Ghana cedis per delegate. So if you have 210,000 people, okay?
192,000 at 10.
The voters register was 210. So as a candidate,
actually.
yes. So as a candidate, as you are going to, you are preparing for the 211.
True.
Not the turnout.
The turnout.
So imagine 211, right? Times 1,000 Ghana cedis. You are talking about 211 million Ghana cedis in the hands of opposition. One candidate. And how many people contested? 5. Abi?
Yeah.
5. So if everybody is giving an average of 500 Ghana cedis. So the least person even gave 105 million. And that is on election day. You see, that's on election day. Let's not lose sight of this. That's on election day expense, not all the rounds going from region to region and support here, you know, paying bills here, paying hospital, you know, supporting school fees and all that. Not all that. So you see, our democracy is getting very expensive. What has happened in Ayawaso, I mean, we've all heard snippets of people complaining and all that, same as we heard in the MPP presidential elections and all that. I'm happy that the OSP also want to take up this matter. I just pray that it doesn't become political. You know, he waited too long for this to happen before you go. You see, when it happens like that, then it's more like reactionary. Soon as the MPP finished and you heard allegations, you should have just kicked in. Then the NDC one comes to kick in. Everybody knows that, okay.
He's listening to the MPP one as well.
Yeah, but this announcement came after the so-called Ayawaso East one. I don't know if you get my point.
Yeah.
So you want to ask yourself, why did you wait for this long? Crime is crime. Once it's committed, it's committed. The MPP may not like it. They may say, oh, you are doing selective, whatever. By the time the NDC one comes and you go for the NDC one, everybody knows that, oh, after all, the earlier one you decided to start was not because you were being vindictive and all that. So we need to be more proactive. Baba Jamal himself has issued a statement to say that he's denying the allegations and that he was not involved and that he welcomes the probe, the investigation and all that. Muhammad Ayaga also on his side as majority leader, the caucus had issued a statement that they should annul the elections. For that matter, he stepped down from the position
Have
of
we ever
membership.
experienced that before, an annulment of a party primary?
Yes and no, because annulment is always must be premised on a few critical issues and it must be properly investigated. Otherwise, you have a lot of legal battles on your hand. I remember when Edem Agbana's election happened and he won with 1 vote. There were a lot of calls for another elections, rerun the elections and all that. But eventually he went through because the committee investigating came to a conclusion that what happened is what it is. I know a couple of elections have been annulled before. I don't know which one, but I'll try and check the data and see. However, maybe not based on vote buying, maybe vote rigging, or at the end of the day, the voter turnout is more than on the register and all that. And then sometimes to tallying of votes may be wrong, and also they can annul elections. It's not a problem. It is if it is tied to, as it were, corruption that I haven't seen any yet. But I think that the NDC has been very proactive in this matter.
Right.
As quickly as the election was held, the following day or same night, you know, we had reports of putting together a committee to investigate, condemning what has happened, and also calling for a probe. Quickly, the party put together a committee. I wish this was done even with the MPP as well, but they will never do it. But you will see them trumpeting, busy talking about NDC, and NDC is corrupt, and NDC is buying votes, and all that. No, you have the same thing in your house. You couldn't deal with it. You were not bold enough to come out and say, hey, we have identified, you know, widespread vote buying and all that. Because people complained. I mean, their own, we had it. People granted interviews.
So if they do it, is that justification for you also to do same?
I'm not saying that we're doing it because they are doing it or they did it because we did it before. I'm saying that clean your house. Let me clean my house. After all, we have taken the decision to do it. Did the media call on us to do it? No. We all heard it. And my party, same night, immediately issued a statement condemning it. Following day, a committee was put together to investigate it. Today, you even have majority caucus, which are NDC members of parliament, saying that no, this is wrong. And that they are even asking for an annulment of the elections. Yeah. I am saying that if we saw even one pin of that from the MPP, we wouldn't be where we are today. So we all need to clean our house. The NDC must do their job, internal house cleaning. Even the guy, Baba Jamal has already been relieved of his position. Are you aware that the president struck the very day? He's been recalled from that. So steps are being taken, at least within the NDC, and that sparks hope for this country. That one political party is at least taking bold steps not to go the way of bribery and corruption and all that. Yes, people say that, oh, it's all over, it's been around us and all that. Yeah, I don't know. What I do know is that people win elections. How they win it, ways and means. Every election has its own strategy, operations, and what have you in order to win the election. I have contested national elections before. In fact, if you watch, then it was CTFM and CTTV they came to our Congress ground and then they did a report. My name was actually mentioned. I had no idea what it was. They said I was sharing dollars.
Really?
I love dollars. I mean,
you didn't have my number then.
You see, if I have the dollar, I'll keep it. But they said I was sharing dollars, and they made a report of the other candidates that they had also shared whatever. So in elections, there are goodwill people who show you goodwill. Somebody can call you and say, "Oh, bro, how is your elections going?" I say, "Oh, Charlie, it's tough. Where are you?" I mean, in the house. Okay, meet me at so and so time. You meet the person. Oh, take this and support your campaign. Sometimes they'll do it on your backside, the blind side. They call you and ask you what are the issues. If they know those you are talking about, they go and they sort them out. People take people for lunch, you know, and all that. So I know that indeed some of these things happen. Now, we only condemn ourselves too much. In America, in the US and all that, they all do some of these things, but maybe at a more civil level. What are the lobbyists for? Those who do the lobbying, what do they do? Those who try to do a background arrangement for some, you know, partnerships and all that, what do they do? What do you think they do? You know, but it's more civil, it's more documented, it's more clean, and it looks more like an engagement, not an inducement for your mind. They talk to you, they try to convince you, they try to tell you why where you are is not where you should be, and this is the way forward and all that. So, but I see a lot of our educational upbringing as a country too is not helping us. You know, if Musa Dankwa's poll is anything to go by in the MPP survey, he said that the larger population of the people going to vote don't have education beyond secondary school. So you can imagine. It means that as a country, not the MPP alone, but as a country, our level of exposure, our level of education, our level of our value systems have all gone very low, and therefore you find some of these things happening. Again, the lady who granted the interview and said they gave us NASCO, they gave us this. For all you know, if that lady was, excuse me, a bit high up there, she may not even mention this. You won't even hear it. So there are times things happen.
But the opulent display we
things happen. You could have even seen it, but nobody will be willing to talk to it. So that's why I congratulate them for coming out boldly to say some of these things. And I congratulate my party for taking the bold step. I congratulate the president for taking the bold step. And we should be finding lasting solutions to this matter. On the issue of political party funding, I think this has come up a couple of times. When President Kufuor was in power, they tried to implement some of these things, funding of political parties and all that. We've had a lot of conferences, symposia, engagement on this matter and all that. And the whole country has come to the conclusion that it's not viable. Why? Because then everybody now picks a form and say, I have a political party, and then just waiting for funding on the day of election. Who qualifies for that money? How much do they qualify? Are you going to prorate it that the bigger parties? Who is a bigger party in any way? We're going for an election. You may be big yesterday.
Can be quantified.
Yeah, you may be
based
big.
on membership.
Yeah, and CPP was one time a very big party. Today they are no more.
So
what would you have done?
So that there should be, the category should be there. You can be downgraded. You can be upgraded.
This is where the difficulty is. Who is doing the upgrade? Who is doing the downgrade and all that? So it's difficult in some of. But again, why do we need political party funding? We are all members of a political party. We pay dues. In fact, we support even in other ways. For instance, there's we're going through our registration right now. We'll be doing branch reorganization and all that. We will all be supporting financially, putting in money. Sometimes we're buying plastic chairs, we're buying canopies. We do a lot of that. I do it myself as well. So the parties should be managed in the manner that they are self-sustaining. And I have said that even we should get to a point where political parties should be willing to do business. For instance, when I say business, farming should be one of the things that we should allow political parties to do on a large scale to support the country. You want to be president of this country, you want to be a member of parliament of this country, and your party is not contributing anything economically to the country. You are only going to be a drain. You pay salary at the end of the month, that's all. What is the party bringing to the table? Can we find a system where they can go into agriculture? At least agriculture is the only environment we know that it won't interfere with their daily dealings. So you come to power, giving all the jobs to your business. But as for agriculture, everybody eats. So we can allow them to invest in agriculture. We make lots of money. Listen, the NPP is about 6 million population. The NDC same. If I pay 1 Ghana cedis a month, it's 6 million. 6 million cedis. If I pay 2 Ghana cedis, it's 12 million. If I pay 10 Ghana cedis, that is equal to 60 million per political party. When we are picking forms to contest anything, we pay. When presidential, how much did the NPP presidential candidates pay? How much?
They paid enough.
They paid enough. So you see, so for me, I think that we should be looking at it from that angle, where the political parties find money and are sustainable and can even support the country, even support their own. We have a system where, when you are injured or died in the line of duty, they come in to support and all that. Right. We should do more of those. That's the only way we can be able to bring this country to where it should be.
Very wonderful.